There's a lot of talk in the performance world today about sprinting, all things about sprinting, which is good. We need more talk about that. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is kind of answering the question of how do you teach proper sprint mechanics? And it really depends on who you listen to. I mean, there's some people that say you have to do every single drill here on the wall, or you got to do give them all these different cues when you're out there and whatnot. And I think not that both are wrong. I just think that it's a little bit of everything kind of goes into this versus just saying it's all this one or it's all this one. But outside of some certain drills that you can do or different cueing that you can provide, probably the easiest way to get guys to teach them proper sprint mechanics at horizontal position is hill sprints. So with hill sprints, you are naturally, instead of you having to change the angle of your body to get in that position, the hill essentially already does it for you. So by running up a hill, it naturally places you in a more horizontally acceleration-based position. The other benefit of hill sprints is that because of the hill and the nature of the difficulty from the hill is you are not going to be able to run at max velocity. It's naturally going to be a submaximal based run, even though the effort perceived might be maximal. It's going to be submax in nature. So that allows us to accumulate a little bit more volume in a submax nature that then helps us teach proper sprint mechanics a little bit more. So how does that look like from a programming standpoint? So we're not going to do hill sprints in season, because in season we want to make sure we're getting quality high intensity exposures that is going to not only maintain speed and power, but also continue to get stress to the hamstrings eccentrically from high speed running. So what I feel like the best way to implement hill sprints into a just kind of yearly program is more so early in the off season, where guys they're done with their season, they've had a little bit of a period of shutdown, and they're kind of just starting to get back into things more than anything. And their hill sprints is going to serve as a good way where they can get some training and awareness in the acceleration position, but keeping their intensity relatively low in that submaximal nature like we discussed, and then allowing them to accumulate volume and reps on there. So let's just say that they maybe do hill sprints they might do it for honestly 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. It depends on really the athlete and the kind of phase of their training age that they're in. They might do that, and then they'll do that for a couple weeks again before they transition to traditional flat ground work. And with the hill sprints, you can stretch it out over 5 yards, 10 yards, 15, 20. Like you can gradually build up their distance on that more than anything. So we'll do that for a couple weeks, and then we'll maybe move on to the flat ground side of things more than anything. So I think one other thing I'll kind of touch on here in terms of teaching sprint mechanics is the use of weighted sleds, resisted sleds. So I don't personally, not that I do not see the value in it. I do see the value in it, but I just personally don't use them. I just feel like if I can get what they need to on the hill side of things, and then transition them comfortably to flat ground, then we're able to achieve what we want to achieve. I do think though one of the problems with sleds that I see out there a lot is people just think, oh, the heavier I load up the sled, then the better my acceleration is going to be. And that's just simply not true. Like, because the more weight you put on the sled, the longer ground contact time you're going to be creating, essentially, because it's going to be hard for you to accelerate through it, which we don't want longer ground contact times in acceleration. They're certainly going to be a little bit longer. We don't want to extend that, and now we're losing the elasticity that we want during acceleration. So that's a little bit of a side note on teaching proper sprint mechanics. But again, when looking at really how I prefer to teach sprint mechanics without overanalyzing from a cueing or drill standpoint or whatnot, if you have a hill nearby, that's going to be where you get the most bang for your buck, because one, it's going to naturally put you in that horizontal acceleration position because of the incline, and two, it's going to be submaximal in nature, so you can accumulate a good amount of volume and repetitions there, which is then going to inherently build the skill of acceleration even more.